Hi, this is Pastor Jim Park again, and welcome to the second episode focusing on the dynamic meaning of the Great Commission as it appears in the book of Matthew and the making of disciples until Jesus comes. In the first episode, we learned how the Great Commission, which records the final instructions of Jesus in Matthew, is often separated from the rest of his gospel. In fact, the commission is almost always disassociated from the strong links Matthew has provided us in chapter 28, where the Great Commission appears. Let me illustrate this with our slide for today. Last week we learned that the word go is an important phrase mentioned not only in the Great Commission, but in the Gospel of Matthew as well. Matthew actually uses this word go a number of times in the final chapter of his gospel. In verse 7, an angel tells the women to go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen. A short while later, Jesus himself appears to another group of women in verse 10 to go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. In Matthew 28:11-15, the Pharisees bribed the soldiers to go tell a lie that the disciples had stolen the body. Finally, in the well-known passage of Matthew 28:19, Jesus urges his disciples of all ages to go and make disciples. Thus, in a very deliberative way, Matthew has sought to make a very strong link between the Great Resurrection and the Great Commission through the various go commands in the chapter. The message is clear. You cannot have a great commission without a great resurrection. Just as David had sung in Psalm 40, 2-3, after the Lord had brought him up out of the horrible pit, the God of the resurrection put a new song in his mouth, a song of deliverance which others heard and were blessed by. In our own attempts to witness for the Lord today, may it always be grounded in the power of his resurrection. Fulfilling the Great Commission should never be based on some human-generated witnessing, but spontaneously spring forth as the fruit of God's daily conversion and resurrection of our lives. I hope you have learned something about the Great Commission in this short video. Our next episode will explore the 7 main phrases of the Great Commission. Until then, as we go, may the Lord of the harvest empower us to make disciples until he comes.